What is
Welcome into the Boddicker podcast. I know you wanted to get on that, Scott. My name is Sean Leary. I'm one of your hosts. I'm a comedian and producer in Los Angeles, and I am joined by my boy. Just came from a table read somewhere in Hollywood, hustling and bustling. He's an impressionist. He's a comic producer, writer, Scott Ibarra, and I'm also joined by our third mic, our sound engineer, beard extraordinaire, vape guy,
I did just shave it, by the way.
Tom Cocking.
Trimmed up.
Here doing the 1987 sleeper sneaky smash hit, RoboCop. You're coming with me, dead or alive. Not sure what this is, but I like it. Yeah. No, we've just never done it. No, good score. We've just never done it. I liked it.
That was fun.
Good table for it.
Who's the name of the composer? Is that my job?
I think
Hans
that's
Zimmer.
usually you, where you come in and it's usually what's that one guy you always say? You say
Goldsmith or something? No, Michael Kamen.
Yeah, Michael Kamen. You bring in Michael. It's like you get paid every time you plug Michael Kamen.
I feel like Michael Kamen pushed you off a bicycle back in.
Oh yeah, I don't like to give him any credit at all. No. He was homecoming king, and I really wanted it.
Michael Kamen was the bully.
Holy shit!
In
it was Michael Kamen.
No. Okay, good bit. We are doing the 1987 smash sleeper hit RoboCop, everyone's favorite half robot, 1/10 man. 1/4 corporate greed. Yeah, well, because it's just his face. Like, that's about all he gets is his face. Even when he's like, well, let's give him an arm, and they're like, no, it's got to be the robot arm.
Dude, this movie is ultra violent,
and it's awesome.
Oh, it's a blast.
Let's unpack it. Obviously, we'll do the fun facts. We'll get to that. We'll talk about our favorite scenes. We'll do the Rotten Tomato scores. See what the critics thought. You know, Roger Ebert always gave his 2 cents back in '87. Yeah. It was 2 thumbs up, but they were straight up for the gore. Yep. Little gory for old Raji. So we'll talk about that. We'll do some hot takes.
Raji.
Raji.
This is a culturally impactful film in more ways than one. When it came out, it was a big hit, but it kind of was a slow burn throughout. Like, when you revisit this one, you're like, whoa. Like, themes, science fiction, action, classic. Where would you start with a movie like RoboCop?
Where would I start?
Where would you start? Because I feel like I always kind of jump right into it and I go, all right, let's title card, blah blah blah, scene. There's no plane landing. No, I didn't have the skirt.
First of all, it was passed up for a long time because, of course, people looked at it and they looked at the script. They're like, RoboCop. Yeah,
that's what I noticed in all my. I did a lot of research for this film, because there were a lot of themes, and it was a very difficult movie to get made. Yeah, and just a lot of nonsense went into it.
I think Paul Verhoeven, the director, he actually he passed on it, but then you guys probably know. And then his wife was a script supervisor, so she told him, she read over it, gave it back to him, and then he started to see, and she said, I think there's a lot of comic elements that you can bring in it. So there's a lot of satire, and you see later he did Starship Troopers.
He did Stormtroopers running their heads into the thing. That's what he directed.
Starship Troopers, which you see, he stepped it up and made it even more cynical.
More meta, more movie within a movie. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this is the thinking man's action. This is the thinking man's science fiction. And the thing that I find so funny, a bunch of people testified to this, like there was a deposition. Like a lot of the actors, a lot of the producers were basically like, everybody hated the name. Yeah. Like, people were turning down the movie. RoboCop? RoboCop? Like, one guy was on record being like, what is it, kitty movie tiddlywink cop? Like, I don't get that. God. Like, I'm a big proponent of names for movies, right?
Yeah, but if someone handed me a script...
RoboCop?
If RoboCop didn't exist and someone handed me a script called RoboCop, I'd be like, I already know what this movie looks like.
Yeah, but would it be deterring? I don't think it's that deterring. I don't think it's that bad of a name of a movie.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, a bunch of the actors are like, I don't want to do it because it's called RoboCop. Like, the woman, what's Lily Allen, Krista Allen, Nancy Allen. I knew it was one of those white capris at the mall names.
Yeah.
Deb,
Lily Allen's a
Pam,
singer.
Yep. Karen, Christy, what was it? Nancy Allen. That's a fake. That's a witness protection program name. That's Chris Hall. Chris, if you're watching, which we know you are, you requested RoboCop and you get what you asked for, baby. Yeah. Okay. She hated the name RoboCop. She was like, I want to do the movie. Like, imagine a movie just being named poorly and you're like, yeah, I'm out. So
what was originally one of the writers originally had a script for a while in the early 80s, and he called it Super Cop.
Yeah.
I like Super Cop.
I like Super Cop.
So when the other, I forget his name, but the original writer, he got turned down by tons of studios. He met the other writer. They got together and
worked on it.
He was like, I actually have a script called Super Cop. And they're both like, cool, 2 dumb names. Let's put them together. But this movie, ultra violent. And I remember like you watch it the first time, you're like, oh my God, crazy good, but like violent movie. And then if you watch it again, it really relates because I totally forgot that it was set in the year 2029. 2029?
And then he gets resurrected in 2030.
2030.
Okay.
So that's good because usually when they made a film in the 80s, they would do it like 15 years.
Yeah.
And they're like,
1999.
1999, the cars are flying. So I like that they put it even past what we're at now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because like, catch a vape. Yeah. We are presented by Vaping in the Studio. Can't wait 10 minutes to vape outside the studio. Vape in the studio with Tom. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like a substitute teacher. I'm like, can you put that away?
That's a really good comment because I watched this for the first time in my life during the pandemic when I was doing my movie workouts. I've talked about this before where the gyms were closed during the pandemic. So I would put on an action movie and I would work out to the movie. So anytime somebody got killed, I would do 10 push-ups.
I'm getting
explosion, I would do burpees.
I'm getting Patrick Bateman vibes.
Right? Yeah,
you're doing sit-ups in front of a girl getting slaughtered
in the car right now.
But
but you get what I'm saying. So I watched it 2020. Yeah. Obviously, it resonated with me, and I was like, with you, wholly violent. Look at these squibs. Look at these ketchup packet explosions in the boardroom. That scene gave me so much anxiety. Oh my God.
Well, the thing is, that scene actually was supposed to be longer.
Yeah, no, they had to cut it down to get out of the X rating.
Which Verhoeven was upset about because and even the writers and people, if you let it go on, like he shoots a guy a million times, then it goes into the absurd and makes it more cynical, and makes it more comedy.
Makes it funny.
But actually cutting it down made it more dark. So that's weird, but it's like, yeah, that's why it's ultra violent, because they say the more ultra violent you get, it goes into comedy.
Yeah, like when they're blasting Peter Weller to the high heavens at the Long Beach steel mill. That was not.
I've
never seen.
Dude, that was not. I have a story. When I saw this movie, I was like an embryo. Okay, I was a child.
No, that's what a lot of people in the IMDb and the Wikipedia was like. Dude. Kids watched this and were obsessed with it.
Okay, so it was the 80s. I remember I was a
fucking
child.
80s, man.
I was a fucking child.
You were like 9.
I went with my friend.
You were legitimately like 7.
I wasn't even 9 yet. I don't even know. I was like.
When were you born?
I don't know, but I brought.
I don't actually know.
I brought a bottle of formula with me to the movie theater.
Hey, dude. That's against the rules.
I know.
You're basically Jerry and Kramer filming the movies in the movie, dude. Watch it.
Yeah, the theater needed the money. So anyway, I went with my friend Seth, and his dad brought us, and I just remember at that time, like, yeah, it's like as long as you went with an adult, you can watch like X-rated films. Like it didn't matter. And I remember watching like RoboCop because they sold it. RoboCop looks cool, action movie, kids. And I remember like first few minutes in that movie when they do the death scene on Peter Weller, when he gets blown away, I was sitting there like I was a child. Rock as a child.
Yeah.
Wow.
Your first boner ever. All right.
Okay. We're going there again.
Hey, what can you do, man? It's early. We're feeling it out.
We just got flagged. But yeah, it was. I remember just immediately being frozen for the next 30 minutes. Like it was hard for me to get out of.
Thank God nothing in the movie happens after that.
To this day, no movie I've ever seen in the theater hit me like that. Like I was a kid and I was just like, because I watched violent movies like that.
Sure, no, but this is on another level.
But I was like, oh my God, that scene, they really got
There's no movie we've done. I mean, Out for Justice, one or two scenes even are comparable to this.
But that's different because that is like pure violence.
No, I'm saying that's how gory, nasty.
But there's something about that scene, I don't know. But when they kill, and I found out later on a rewatch like that they're showing like he's almost like a sacrifice. Like there's almost like biblical Jesus stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels to
being resurrected and all that.
Yeah.
So they drew it out and it was like really bad. And then the main villain guy, forget his name, whatever the guy was. That 70s dad.
Chaddick, or what is it? Can we get a look up on that?
Fucking job.
Man,
I'll do my
it's
job,
Braddock or Chaddock or Braddock.
So anyway, the main character, he played that so well. It was so sadistic, but that stayed with me. And I walked out of the theater, and me and my friend Seth were just completely quiet. And his dad, I remember, we're getting in the car, and he goes,
Boddicker.
And he just gets in the car, and he goes, well, don't tell your mom about that scene. And I remember just driving home like, I need a hug and a burger or something. Like,
and a burger.
And I need to be held.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, Petaluma, dude.
Like, so I had a friend, I won't name his name. It rhymes with Back Billiams.
Zach Williams.
Yeah, so
if you're out there, Zach Williams.
He loved the movie to a point where it was concerning because he was like, you got to watch this. I'm like, okay. And then watch it. I'm like, I think you have a problem if you, as a child, enjoy this movie this much. And so I haven't hung out with him since.
Is he a taxidermist now?
Yeah. Yeah. He's probably got body parts in the fridge, but it's fine.
He's like, I love that movie. By the way, is this someone's cat? And he opens a briefcase. I don't know.
I had a thought.
Yeah.
So we get the fantastic satirical Cold War fearing commercials throughout the movie.
Yeah, propaganda.
Which one of those products was your favorite? Was it the Yamaha 2000 Heart that you can purchase? Like that was in maybe the first 5 minutes of the movie is holy shit, this movie is on another level where it's like literally they're doing Amazon 25 years before Amazon.
They really predicted a lot. I love the commercial where the guy goes, "You can buy that for $1," and
that's putting a show. I think that's a show all of the people in the city are watching.
Yeah,
because it's on at the first heist.
Right.
It's on outside the second heist, and it doesn't look like a commercial. It looks like a show. That was one of the notes I wrote down of like. It feels like the age of Netflix where literally everybody's watching the exact same thing and it's garbage. It's terrible. It's just a guy going, I'd buy that for $1 and like girls with bikinis on. I didn't know. I think that was like, are they predicting Love Island before Love Island?
No, they're just predicting you going from propaganda, people being killed, to then a guy throwing cake on a girl's boobs and being like, I'd buy that for $1. Ha ha. Yeah, that was 5 people were killed today. You know?
Yeah. Oh no, my favorite part was bum 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 bum. RoboCop. Who is he? What is he? Where'd he come from?
I know.
And then it's like cut to Cold War. Santa Barbara was killed today. Everyone, former president's dead.
Gotta love the 80s.
They were so worried about the Cold War. It was fantastic.
Roasties, you know?
Well, that's what in the 80s brought in where news turned from just like informative, like they're whatever, into like entertainment. So
sensational.
So this movie, wow,
fucking
there's a lot.
Rips.
It's fucking.
What was your favorite part?
What
was your favorite part?
You know,
I can ask Tom.
I know there's a lot of favorite parts.
I got some, but
there's a lot of favorite parts, but the two ones that stick with me is Murphy being killed.
Ugh.
I can't get, and then I
can't get that out of my head.
And then the toxic waste scene. The guy
getting incredible.
Oh my god!
You know why that was such a fucking prick?
Well, when you saw him in the gas station, he survived and he let him go. You're like,
well, no, he defunked. He malfunctioned. He didn't let him go.
Though you're like, he's gonna have a bad death.
Oh
later.
yeah,
and he got the worst.
And he's
death.
such a prick on ER.
Yeah.
Later in life, that guy went to be the antagonist on ER.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: gets killed by a helicopter, falls on him. He sucks in everything. That means he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets a little off the rails. It's a show about an emergency room, and a helicopter falls on him. Talk about jumping the shark, Michael Crichton.
I guess I'm not gonna watch that anymore.
Yeah. Watch The Pit instead. It's very good. Noah Wyle.
No, I'm over it.
We are presented by HBO Max. I will never just say Max. They want us to, but I won't do it. Okay. Yeah. Favorite part, if you had, so you're saying those ones stuck with you the most? Because you saw this when you were 2. Oh, you drove yourself to the movies in your Yamaha Heart.
Yeah.
You love the callback.
Exactly. I was pushed in a stroller, and after that death scene, I ran out with my bottle. I was walking already. I had matured. I was a man. I was
Holy shit,
I've seen everything. Jesus.
So when you I truly believe you when you say that Murphy death stuck with you, because right now I feel like it's even flustering you a little bit.
Think brought back.
I have some of those scenes. I have do you ever know the movie The Client with Tommy Lee Jones and Susan Sarandon?
No.
I watched it with.
I do
Lingo.
not.
I watched it with my mom when I was probably 6.
You've watched
7.
every movie with your mom.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
And there's
she
a
put a
scene,
washcloth over your eyes.
Yep. There's a scene in that movie, and I'll never forget it, where there's just this young kid who's like a witness to a crime, and he's in a back of a car in the middle of the woods with this lawyer, and the lawyer takes a gun, puts it in, and they show it coming out and exploding.
In the kid's mouth or the
guy, the kid, but the kid,
I don't know.
The kid sees it. It's Brad Renfro. Brad Renfro.
Oh yes,
great actor. Yes. You know exactly.
Not alive.
Because of the gunshot.
Because of the movie Bully.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I have that same feeling.
If you need a kid death, just talk to Tom about it.
I know that same feeling of like, dude, that one stays with me, and I haven't seen it since.
Yeah.
So it's like, so that Murphy's probably, you're gonna lean more towards Toxic Avenger getting toxic gooed and then getting run over by 70 Show's dad.
Oh yeah.
Like
just
all of
the
that.
windshield too. It's just like car wash.
Yeah. ER prick gets exploded by 70 Show's dad. I mean, that felt like early 2000s TV. Watching that, I was like, hell yeah, but also hell yeah. And then when Kurtwood Smith gets knifed to the neck, the blood work on this movie, Kurtwood Smith, the blood work on this movie, I think is my favorite part. The squibs, the blasts.
You love.
He just learned squibs.
I learned squibs today. Tony, videographer, knows about squibs.
What's a squib, by the way?
We're doing great with squibs. It's the ketchup packet.
You can talk. He can't talk.
20. Okay, here's a fun fact.
He's got gingivitis.
First fun fact of the movie: our corporate CEO fuckboy that gets murdered by the ED-290.
Fuckboy.
You know what I'm talking about?
Hold on,
Curly hair. He looked like a poor man's Robert Downey Jr. Right? Like picks up the gun, is like, and then the guy goes, drop it.
15 seconds until
20 seconds. He had 200 squibs on.
Oh yeah.
200 ketchup packets.
Yeah, and those hurt when they go off.
That's what he said. He said it felt like he got punched.
Yeah.
How much coin are you getting on a squib gig? Because he had lines. He had lines. That's not like a central casting thing.
He got stunt pay.
Because he had that elevator scene with Johnson. Also, 1980s, everyone's named Johnson.
Yeah.
Was his name Johnson?
Well, it was the guy who like got
Squib
around. You know who I'm talking about. It was the black guy in the corporate office. He loves the action. He loves the juice. Because when Squib Guy got squibbed, he had like kind of a smile.
Yeah.
And was like,
and he gave the thumbs up.
Yeah. And then they go into the elevator. Yeah. They go into the elevator and he's like, man, crazy about other guy that got killed.
Yeah.
And then the guy goes, life in the big city.
I feel like the guy that got squibbed to death. I feel like that was the guy who shows up at all the corporate parties and he's just like, we're doing shots of tequila.
No,
and everybody's like, let's just have cocktails. And that dude's like, we're getting hookers. We're doing this. And he was just like off the rails. But his uncle helped fund OCP. So he got a job. And then, like, every girl that he's ever been with, he's like, you know, kind of like assaulted.
It's kind of
weird.
Date rape.
So when he got killed, everybody was like, how fast can we clean out his desk?
That's kind of what. Here's a thought.
He didn't have a locker.
He gets June squibbed.
He gets squibbed
right?
hard.
He gets squibbed.
June squibbed.
June squibbed.
Good pull.
He gets June squibbed.
Yeah.
And no one woman makes a sound. Like sad. It was.
80s women sounds.
So nobody cares, right?
Sorry.
Nobody really cares. And then the three board guys are boarding and talking business. And I was like, at first I wrote down, people would have been more affected.
Right.
But
there's like two guys throwing a Nerf football in the background.
Yeah, they're like, hey man, you got ED? So do I. Tremfaya. Like, it was so just.
Squibby got fucked up.
Yeah, damn, poor Squib.
Up top. Yeah.
I get his cubicle, right? I get his cubie.
Damn. But his parking spot's open.
Yeah. But then then my head goes, no, this is showing how desensitized 2029 is to crime.
They meant to do that.
Yes, and how OCP is essentially just, they don't care.
No.
It's $1. It's one guy. He even says it, he goes, well, now we're back $50 million in interest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the interest on paying this guy's entire family for the rest of the company's existence, it feels like it'll be more than $50 million.
And the guy who plays, the guy who the
Jones?
young exec.
Miguel Ferrer.
Miguel Ferrer.
Yeah.
He's great.
Fantastic.
Blank check.
Blank check.
Point of no return. He plays that. I think that role.
He's such a fucking asshole.
He is,
and he's not even like young. He's supposed to be like the young exec.
He's what the Jews call a schmuck. He's a schmuck.
Oh, schmuck's a Jew thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's why Larry David's a schmuck.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Schmuck. Like, if
Lingo.
you think of
even know
schmuck.
a
Lingo.
Jew?
What?
Do you know a Jew?
Okay.
Sorry.
Good talk. Good
okay.
talk.
Anyways, I'll say the
Okay, Tom. What is your favorite part of RoboCop?
Oh man, it's like it's the saddest, like the hand being blown off.
Yeah.
Like
That's your favorite part?
That was impressive.
Well, no, because like as a kid, again. So like your thoughts about it, like I'd never seen in my entire life a fucking hand be blown off, where it was like immediate.
Dude, welcome to the jungle,
Yeah,
Tom.
and it was just like done. And I'm like, I remember saying in my head when I watch it, like.
But there's a lot of hands blown off you've probably seen or chopped off and whatever. But it's Peter Weller selling it. The way he sold it.
When they
like,
shoot his fucking arm off, they just like shoot everything off, and that's like, I'm not an EMT.
I know.
He wouldn't have. Yeah, thank you. All right, but that watching, I'm like, there's no way he could survive. But that first shot was like a scream where you're like, I never.
Yeah,
seen a
when you
hand
get shot in the
blown
hand,
off.
it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, you've
Sucks.
lost a hand. Where are your hands at?
Huh?
Oh.
I'll be doing hand more.
I think my favorite part of the movie RoboCop is when he shoots the guy in the dick. Like dick shot.
Through the
oh
skirt.
my god, it was so good. And
the
like,
skirt.
and then this is kind of when I go, everybody in this universe kind of wants to fuck RoboCop. Like, did you notice that? Like the woman,
like, thank you.
One of the women who like helps create him with Jones kisses him fully.
Yeah.
And then like one of the news reporters is like, what are you?
I know.
And I'm just like,
He puts his dick away.
No, he spins his dick and puts
Spins
it
his
back
dick,
into his
puts it back
pants
away.
like TJ Dick on the TV show. Hey, Daddy, can you put your dick in your pants like TJ Dick? It's
Dick.
Officer TJ Dick.
So great. And he's like, you have been through a traumatic situation. I will call a rape
crisis center. No, that was great. Like I wanted him to just like keep vamping until the cops got here. They will be here in any minute. Please, your heart rate is spiking. Can you please have a croissant and chill out? Oh my God, where's the? There must be traffic.
Try your breathing in through out the mouth.
Out the mouth. I've heard that works from my studies that are coming through my brain computer.
Have you read The Alchemist?
They're like really cool, like grids when they.
He sees
so
in
good.
grids.
Like,
he only sees in grids.
And
We are
great
brought to you
grids.
by Grids.
Yeah, we are presented by Grids.
A new cereal by Nabisco. Grids.
And
Are you on acid and love to eat cherries and ride through the desert at Burning Man? Grids.
Grids, which parent company? OCP.
OCP brings you Grids and Squibs.
Yo, are you
Squibs,
down
the new
with those?
bloody breakfast that your child will never forget.
We are presented by Bibs and Squibs.
Squibs.
Presented by Mr. Pibbs, Bibs and Squibs.
Oh my
The
God.
Diet Mug Root Beer Dana Carvey Show.
Bibs and Squibs, where violence meets sex, a new strip club in South Detroit. Okay.
Okay.
We're back.
We
Hold on,
are.
hey, Scott. You down with OCP?
Am I down with OCP?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know me.
Okay, so we had to talk about Can Bobby Fly? Because our videographer, Tony, his father loves this movie, and his favorite moment is
Is his
when-
father Mr. Hill?
Mr. Hill?
What?
What's happening with your hands?
Mr. Hill?
Who's the guy Hill that we keep talking about?
No, Chad Hall.
Chad Hall.
I'm sorry, Chris Hall.
Chris Hall.
That's cousin or uncle? I think uncle.
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 Okay. Funkle.
Funkle.
Is Chris Hall.
Chris Hall.
Chris Hall. I'm
and then
so sorry.
dad is Adam.
Adam
Pape.
Adam Pape.
Adam Pape.
Adam Pape.
So he loves Can Bobby the Bobby line when he chucks Bobby out of the van, and I kind of was thinking this.
Can Bobby fly?
Bobby gets out easy. All the others, all of Braddock, is it Braddock? What is this goddamn name?
Warwick?
It's Clarence
Braddock.
Boddicker.
Oh, Boddicker. Clarence Boddicker.
Clarence Boddicker.
He throws him out.
Yeah.
He lands on the windshield, rolls off, doesn't die. Everyone else in Boddicker's crew gets either exploded,
Eviscerated.
toxic Avengered, or stabbed in the neck. This guy, Bobby, didn't even die. Yeah, he can fly. Fly on to the next appointment he's got because he's alive.
They could do
he
a follow-up.
survives and he's in RoboCop too.
They could do a
is?
follow-up of
No.
Bobby.
Oh, okay.
They could do a follow-up of Bobby's life.
Bobby
he's
Cop.
like, he's good. He's
Bobo
like, he's
Cop.
like, fuck, man.
Bobby's
Bobo
world.
Cop.
He's like, I got over it, and I'm good. And so that should be a follow-up.
Yeah.
Sequel.
And he
How'd
went-
Bobby do?
Now he's a pastor at a church.
Yeah.
And then that leads us to the moment where the two cops, played by Peter Weller and Nancy Allen.
Nancy Allen. She kept cutting her hair shorter and shorter.
Yes, 8 cuts.
Well, because
8.
they wanted to totally desexualize her to not make it, and it worked. It was
Yep.
great. And
Good
you know where
choice.
they got that idea from?
Where?
I've been reading a lot of books lately.
I read.
These are in
deal.
this information is in books.
Beverly Hills Cop had come out in like 84, a few years earlier, which is when the script got approved in like 84, 85. And they did a great job. If anybody notices, Axel Foley is completely desexualized in the first Beverly Hills Cop. That girl that he knows, the blonde girl, he goes up, "What's up?" when he meets Serge in the gallery or whatever. And they wanted him to absolutely not have any kind of romance. And even though this girl's like flirting with him, he's like totally the friend zone, whatever. And that is what got him into the mainstream. That's why the film did so good, is he was a very non-threatening black guy in the movies.
That's awesome.
So anyway, because that worked for a cop, they used this one. They said, no, we don't want it to be a love story. We want it to be kind of like dark and whatever. But we need that female lead to kind of balance out, the masculinity and, help give him a good partner. But they had originally another actress, but she was just too hot, so they got Nancy Allen. And Nancy Allen actually, she was totally method. She wore men's underwear.
Yeah, she put on weight by quitting smoking. She quit smoking and then supplemented that addiction with a food addiction and gained weight for the role.
It's the best.
Yeah, and she was the worst cop. It was brilliant because you have the super cop, and then the partner is literally the worst cop.
Freeze!
Looks at dicks before handling business.
Looks at dicks?
He's taking a piss.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Can I zip up?" And she looks down at his dong, and then he punches her off the Access Chemicals.
Oh yeah, in the last fight scene.
Because this is filmed at a steel mill in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And it's doubling as Access Chemicals.
Honestly, I would have been punched off too.
Oh my God, yeah. And she lands perfectly.
If a guy's that confident and he's like, "Can I zip up first?" I'd be like,
she looked, because she probably could already see it. It was probably Hog City. Yeah. And she could already see it and was like, "God, how long does this thing go? This thing goes into next
Either
week."
either that or the guy was hung like an elevator button and it was just going straight out.
She was just like, "Hello. Where the hell is that?"
Yeah.
Well, Nancy Allen is really pretty. She got great hair.
Of course, dude. Just because a woman has short hair, just because she has my haircut doesn't mean that she's not cute.
She got the Scott at Supercuts.
She did.
Okay, let me ask you this though: the two of them, they go into the steel mill after 100 guys that have the upper hand and nowhere. This is basically their lair.
Classic cop movie stuff. They call for backup, but they go in alone, and the backup never comes till they're dead.
I honestly wanted them to get blasted. There was a moment where I go, okay, I kind of know the trailer obviously gives this away that he dies and they bring him back to life as the cop, so I'm not spoiling anything.
I know.
But Peter Weller gets shot.
You can't spoil
500 million. When does he get shot more? In the parking garage as RoboCop?
Oh my God.
Where it's there was a moment where I literally had to mute it because my cat was freaking out at all the gunshots in the parking garage. And I literally go, "Paul, that's enough." I literally said out loud, I go, Paul. It's the director, Paul Verhoeven.
Paul.
It's enough.
It's enough.
Because real. The sound. They won an Oscar for this. I think sound. Yeah, and sound.
RoboCop won an Oscar
Academy
for sound
Award,
design.
Something. One of the things. It won for something. I should probably know because I have a movie podcast.
I think that is the best thing. That award goes right next to Eminem's award for Song of the Year for Oscar nominees. It's like Eminem and then RoboCop sound design.
Just blasting.
Just random.
How about when I thought a funny thing that kind of reminded me of your bit from stand up where you're like, I play squash with the judge's son. Is the one douchey corporate guy that's not in on the plan.
It's so 80s. You always have to talk about, I got a 6 o'clock tea time.
Leave the bathroom.
Yeah.
Not enough paper towel. You toss, walk out. And he's like, I wrote it down. He goes up to the guy and this is his 2 lines. Handball Tuesday night. That's to show future 2029. Right. We're playing handball.
Yeah, but in the 80s, dude, racquetball and handball was the shit.
I like handball, but I played it different. South Dakota, it was soccer with your hands. It wasn't the smack it. It's not racquetball with your hands where I see people playing handball. What do you got?
I'm confused about what you're talking about. Handball is handball.
Well, I played handball where we played soccer with our hands. That was handball.
That's not handball. That's
you just came
I
in
don't
and
think
changed
I
the
know
rules.
what handball is.
No, I don't think you know. You came in. People are playing handball, and he came in with a volleyball, and he's like, "We're changing the rules."
Yeah, that's the South Dakota in me.
Yeah,
I just come in, meat, potatoes. I'll take care of business.
Here, this is soccer ball. I'm gonna use my hands on it.
The skit, the SNL's like Nukem, where it's the Cold War Russia commercial on the midnight news where it's bomb, 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 bomb. We'll be back right after this, and then it cuts to like a kid playing Battleship, but it's not Battleship. He's like, I've got Palestinian armies in Ukraine.
Oh my God!
And she goes, but you'll never be able to get past my M80s at the border. And then the dad goes, Nukem. And that's the name of the game. Incredible.
If you watch Fox News, they have those actual commercials all the time.
Yeah. No, it's Capozio's Chevrolet of Fontana. Come on down to Capozio. Like when they do the local commercial where the guy who owns the car dealership, instead of getting an actor, he plays the part. Come on down to Capozio's where Uncle Larry sent you. I'm Uncle Larry.
Exactly.
How about you just go to bed and hire an actor?
Yeah. Come have your kid's birthday at this hatchet throwing place. Yeah. Turn your kid into a man. Teach him how to hunt boar. Where are we?
Fancy. I thought
What
it
was
was
your favorite scene? By the way?
My favorite part was the shooting the dick when he shoots the guy in the dick, and then it cuts to the Delta City billboard. I liked the cityscape of this all. I thought
Do you know what city they filmed it?
Dallas.
Dallas,
Supposed to be
Texas.
Detroit, but they filmed it in Dallas because Dallas is so flat, there's nothing. It's just a dead city. It's
Well, they
totally
thought
flat.
it looked a little similar to Detroit, but it was safer to shoot in.
Well, no, the production people like filming Dallas because it's so flat. So there's no mountains or anything to obstruct. It's just a nice city
Are
skyline.
there mountains in Detroit? I don't know about the United States much.
What? No,
Are there
but
mountains in
no, but there's like
Detroit?
the lake and there's background and whatever.
What
where
lake?
Dallas is what?
What lake? What lake's in
Michigan?
Detroit? By
Lake-
the Finger
Lake
Lakes.
Mich-
Lake
The
Michigan?
Finger Lakes.
The Finger Lakes?
Where is
Tom?
Detroit? Where is Detroit at?
Tom, are you in Westeros right now?
It's up there. It's up there.
The Finger Lakes of Westeros. It's not there.
I had another bone to pick. Not a bone to pick, but kind of just a fun thought that kind of hit
can
me
pick a bone if
was
you want to.
Jones, the big bad.
Who's the Jones?
Not Brad.
Miguel Ferreira.
God damn it, Clarence Boddicker is our
It's not
main.
Clarence, but it's
that '70s show dad.
Yeah.
Fucking
Red.
dick kills it.
Do you know
Then
do you know who he was emulating?
it was Robert Himmel, a famous. It was like a
Himmler.
Nazi.
Himmler.
Yeah, Himmler.
Oh,
And he said-
Heinrich Himmler? Oh,
Heinrich Himmler.
Himmler.
So,
That guy's
you know
great.
him? Yeah,
Yeah, he's good friends with
Love
him.
him.
They get beers down at the
Solid dude.
VFW.
solid dude. He
did
talked
good.
to him.
He's
He's like,
still,
he
he's
did
still
some
on
good
he's
stuff.
still on Nancy Allen checking out her haircut. So he's literally just looking at Nancy
Nice.
Allen. So you know what I mean? So
You're
Kurtwood
gonna get
Smith,
flagged, Tom.
Kurtwood
Yeah,
Smith,
it's okay.
and then he answers to Jones.
Right.
The guy that is second in command at OCP.
Oh, Ronnie Cox.
Yes. I had a bone to pick with his line where he goes, "Old geezer gets it," talking about his boss.
Yeah.
They were the same age. They both had white hair. You gonna call this guy a geezer? You ain't some spring chicken.
wait, Miguel Ferreira and
Nope.
Ronnie.
No,
Relax,
the
Sean.
other guy. The big bad who falls out of the window like this at the end. The big bad. The guy that gets
Ronnie
fired.
Cox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Miguel Ferrero.
No, I know, Ronnie
Yeah.
Cox.
Yeah, but you
The
said Miguel
actor.
Ferrero earlier.
I know, but
Yeah.
now we're back to Ronnie Cox, who was
Yeah.
in Beverly Hills Cop. Ronnie Cox.
Yeah, he's bad. He's bad
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
His boss.
He also plays Big Bad in he plays Cohagen in Total Recall.
Yes. Yeah, that's what another Paul Verhoeven.
Yep. Boom.
I wrote that down at the
Verhoeven.
beginning of this movie. It felt very Total Recall, but I know this came out first.
Yes.
But like, it felt a lot like Total Recall. Like it had similar vibes.
Oh, yeah. Well,
energies.
This was his calling card, and then after
Yeah.
that, it's like all of his movies. He's like, this works.
Yeah, and then he does Showgirls, Basic Instinct, action romps.
Action romps.
Verhoeven did Showgirls.
Oh my God.
He did Basic Instinct.
Oh
Two
my
of the
God.
most vagina forward films of our era. Very progressive. All right.
He nailed it on Basic Instinct, and then Showgirls came along, and I bet you he was telling his friends, he's like, "This is my indie
Yeah,
film.
this is gonna pop.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
fucking
he
crush this."
probably thought.
You know the girl from Saved by the Bell? I'm gonna make her the next. She's gonna be the next Sharon Stone. It's gonna fucking kill. Watch. And then it came out, and his buddies were like, "We're gonna go play golf by ourselves." Yeah, Paul, why don't you just sit back?
Miguel Ferrero's character, when I knew he was gonna die is when he was talking
Miguel
shit in the
Ferrero.
bathroom. If you are in an action movie in the 80s or the 90s and you talk shit about somebody in the bathroom, you're gonna die. You're gonna absolutely get killed.
He pulls his hair like a little boy.
Oh, he some great performances in this movie. Great. Peter Weller gives the least amount of performance, but it's powerful. Like, he's barely in the movie. Like, in terms of
Peter Weller?
Yeah, like
RoboCop?
as himself.
Oh god, okay.
He like his death scene, incredible.
Yeah.
Like I said when we started talking about this, he felt like a stage act. I'm like, this guy does not belong in this movie.
Well, he
was perfect as RoboCop.
Like, Peter Weller's an amazing, out of like what is it, like the Academy of, I don't know, one of those big acting schools, and then he studied with the movement and the mime director at Juilliard to figure out how to work in the suit.
Yes.
I watched him do
mime. He worked with a mime on this.
Right. I watched him talk to like a bunch of class people at NYU or something like that on like how he did it, and it was the most amazing thing to watch how crazy this guy is. Peter Weller just talked to these students for like 45 minutes. He's wearing like a Detroit Pistons like leather jacket, and he's like going off on tangents about like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's like a professor now. He's a doctor.
Yeah, he was like talking about, he's like, and it's like breakdancing, and I breakdance and everything.
His blue eyes, bro.
Well, then I saw that he, so the suit that they made for RoboCop, he was like practicing a different suit.
Yeah.
And then they didn't give it to him like until he was deep into it. So he had to like relearn how to use the suit. Didn't like it.
He wanted to quit the movie.
And he went so method that like apparently one of the guys he wasn't a PA but something, there was a shot when they were doing the shot at the steel mill or whatever where he was totally in character, and one of the set guys was eating like a little like a sleeve of Oreos,
or Oreos, whatever. Yeah,
Oreos. Yeah,
I'm not.
He was eating Oreos, and Peter Weller in character was like, Robo wants Oreos. And the guy's like, I'm not answering him. He's being a fucking weirdo. Like, and he's like I'm not doing this. And they're like, just give it to him. He's like, Robo want Oreos.
Jesus.
And this guy, PA, he tells it great. He's like, I'm not answering him like this. This is stupid. And he wouldn't go on. He was like, will not film unless Robo has Oreos. And he had to go give it to him. He's like, I'm not giving you your fucking Oreos.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah,
I hate method actors
so they had to send
much.
someone else to get him Oreos because this one dude's like, I'm not fucking doing it.
I hate method
and
actors.
I feel like
I don't get method acting because I understand what it is. Like you get in the role.
They are pretentious. They're just assholes. They just are assholes.
Like if you just are a good actor,
if you're gonna treat people shitty when the camera's not rolling, you are an asshole.
You're like, no,
I do not respect method acting. I don't respect
right now.
You can get results without being shitty to people when the camera's off.
Yeah, like Jared Leto playing the Joker.
Oh, he goes meta for Morbius. Oh, what did you sit in your own shit for 7? Because that was a shit.
I love how they say he was so in character.
Sit in your shit, and then
all he did was shit in his own shit and sit in it and eat it because it was all shit.
Shout out to Jared Leto.
Morbius makes Kraven the Hunter look like Schindler's List. I'm watching that on Netflix being like, this makes Morbius look like the fucking dildo scene from the other movie he's in. I can't think of it right now because I didn't have my magic mind. Requiem for a Dream. There's an end of the scene movie where I can't even say. It'll go NC-17 if I say, but that was more palatable than Morbius. Boom, roasted. Leto, you want to be on the pod?
Anyways, this is brought to you by Jared Leto. He's not been great since Fight Club. So
wait, whoa. Jared Leto has not been great since Dallas Buyers Club, where he won the Oscar.
Sorry,
boom, roasted.
Lo siento, Jared has not been good since. Hold on.
Bury me.
He was good. I did really like Jared Leto in the deleted scene of Justice League.
Yeah.
That was like his best ever.
Your career's in a great spot when a guy's like, yeah, I loved him in that deleted scene that didn't make the movie 8 years ago.
Yeah. I was looking at the extended cut, and I turned the CD over, and I saw this one scene that wasn't in the movie, and he didn't get paid for. Yeah.
He was actually credited as John Leno, and like they gave it to him.
Yeah,
okay, real quick. My second favorite part of the movie is the ending. When the guy, because I thought it was going to keep going. When the guy goes, "What's your name, son? You're a good shot. What's your name, kid?" Like, it was so like, toss the Coke to Mean Joe Green, like toss the jerk. It was so cute. I'm like, oh, he's going to walk out and then we're going to set up the second one. He goes, Murphy. And then title card, fucking RoboCop. It said fucking RoboCop. And I literally went, yeah, movies, man.
You jumped in the air and froze.
You know, the end of Breakfast Club, I went, don't you, RoboCop.
Like the old Toyota commercials, you jumped and froze.
Oh my God, it was incredible.
Yeah.
And I just go, thank you.
And then you drank a Pepsi, popped in Wrigley Spearmint gum, pointed at the camera and said, we'll be right back.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Nothing better than...
And you popped a Mentos in and then...
And then I rolled on the bench and made my suit into a pinstripe suit. You know that commercial, right?
Absolutely not.
Nutrageous. Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's get to 6 months for the suit, 4 months for the other robot design.
Yes.
So that's 10
months. Can we talk about how Verhoeven did a great job, and a lot of people don't pick this up, but it's very much like they kind of make him like a Christ figure. Like he's crucified, because when he gets killed, they like stomp, put his hands out like this. He's a crucifix, shoots his hand through the middle.
Yep.
That's why that scene's so horrible, at least for me and for a lot of other people, because they want it to be like he is. And he's literally, they do Easter eggs throughout the beginning of the film that when what's his name, Miguel Johnson, is that his name?
No, Jones.
Johnson.
Jones.
Is
he Jones? And the other guy's Jones.
Who's Ronnie Cox?
Yeah, I think he's Jones.
Okay, so anyway, Miguel Ferrer, the guy who creates RoboCop, whatever, how he's so ice
Jones.
cold.
No,
That's how he sells it.
Cox.
That's how he sells it. He says, I already have candidates in the department that I think would be great. And what they're doing is they transfer Murphy and other cops.
Yeah, it was like purposeful.
Because they know they're going to get killed, so they're looking for the perfect donor for the program. They're fucked up. So it's like he gets literally sacrificed and then gets reborn, resurrected. And then in that last shot when they're in the steel mill or whatever, he's like walking on water.
Yeah, that was cool. No, there were a lot of parallels.
There was a lot, and it was crazy how they did that. And then like watching it again, I didn't get to rewatch it this time, but like I remember watching it a few years ago. I'm like, wow, it's really powerful how they kept like the humanity in him. And you know, when you're a kid, I was still scarred from the first 5 minutes of being killed. I didn't soak up much else, but yeah,
I feel like you did soak it up.
Here's a fun fact:
he kills, and a really cool thing is he kills the guy with the middle finger in the neck.
Yeah.
So it's like he kills him that way, and then he kills Ronnie Cox by putting that thing into the thing. Yeah. I caught that last time I watched it. I'm like, oh, that's his
weapon.
It was
all bloody.
The weapon, it's like he uses that.
It was like his USB dick.
It's
it
USB
was like, I put this in, I get information.
What a man
Known
movie.
Associates. Here's a fun fact that I thought was cool.
He fingers things and makes people die. I love it.
The corpse, the Toxic Avenger exploding body corpse was the same dummy that they used when all of the metal equipment landed on RoboCop.
Same dummy, this guy right here.
Like
this gross, like nasty dude.
Yeah, because it's such a quick. It's
so
such
bad.
a quick shot of all that stuff.
Well, you know who they use for makeup for that for the Toxic Avenger dude? The same guy who did the effects for The Thing.
Oh, really? John Carpenter's The Thing?
John Carpenter's The Thing. Same guy brought in the effects. That's why it's so good.
Yeah, it is really good.
In the notes, when I'm doing my job, I'm like figuring shit out and stuff.
Yeah, that's what you do.
His death.
Right on. In your IBM computer?
Yeah.
It's as big as this room?
My IBS computer, yeah.
IBS computer? Yeah, it takes a shit on you every day.
His death was rated the highest seen by test audiences.
That's what I said. In the test audiences,
that's how sick
the Toxic Avenger guy got exploded onto the dashboard.
And all the guys...
audience... Oh yeah, because he sucked.
All the guys threw popcorn on their girlfriends and came.
Yeah, that guy wanted to kill that college kid at the gas station and didn't. That's when I was like, kill this fucker. Dude. ER guy needs to go.
They just came.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do budget.
Whole theater full of school shooters.
Okay, budget was $13 million. Okay, it ballooned a little bit. It was around 7, then it got up to 13 post production. Some of this.
I feel like every movie we talk about, the budget ballooned.
Well, these action movies and all these big things and technology. I mean, if it takes them 6 months to make a polyamorous suit or whatever, it's made out of plyometric, plaster.
To make a non-binary suit.
God damn it, Pilgrims, it's John Wayne again.
I love how Paul Verhoeven was like, he's like, I need to have infrared imaging where he sees through the wall. He's like, because Predator was made the same year. He's like, Predator got it.
Yeah, we need it. Whoosh.
Where's McTiernan?
Also,
how'd you get it? I need your budget.
That politician's like a lot of times, like the big bad in a scene like that. I need a chopper on the roof. I'm getting to Haiti tonight. No, he goes, I want my job. I want my parking space. I want 2 vacation days next year if I'm walking out of here. Like he thought his life would go on after mass murder at City Hall.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Yeah.
Bringing a lot to the table here.
You know who that was modeled after? That was modeled after the dude who shot Harvey Milk in the 70s. Yeah.
Did you say Enron? That was a pretty good guess. Texas, they shot in Texas.
Okay, so what do you have your computer in front of you? But just go ahead and throw out random guesses, Tom.
Yeah, please don't look anything up except Nancy Allen's haircuts in the 70s.
The only thing that computer's good for is when you're spinning tables at your strip club job.
Yeah. What do you think this did at the box office?
You just wait.
$13 million budget. What do you think it did at the box office? He knows.
No.
I don't know. I feel like Tom's going to send me a bunch of nude QuickTimes tonight.
No, you're good.
What the fuck is a QuickTime?
Old school.
Ask
Lingo.
Millennial.
You're going to old school videos. Okay.
Lingo.
QuickTime.
13 million. Sleeper hit. R-rated.
What did it do at the box office?
1987.
Ooh, I know because I was there as a kid, so it got a lot of money. I was a zygote.
It was $275 to see the picture.
$275.
Extra, read all about it this weekend. Coming to the theater, it's RoboCop. $275 gets you in. You want a front row seat? It's $3.
That voice is giving me PTSD.
You want to see a guy get blasted? Come in.
Yeah, come on down. Jesus allegory. Come on down.
Bring your kids. I got to grow up sometime.
Bum, 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 bum. RoboCop.
Raising a psychopath? Bring him to RoboCop.
Does he have a dick in his hand? It's a metal dick, USB dick. Dum, 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 bum, bum. Now from Yamaha, the USB dick penis.
Penis.
All right, 53 million.
Imagine if someone just tuned into our podcast right at that part.
Sometimes that happens. If you go back to YouTube and you pick the video, it'll just start in the middle and it'll be bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
So,
Yamaha Hearts, 53 million, 1987. Smash.
Oh, okay. So I didn't get to guess? God.
You were just kicking your tires too long on the kick.
The tires.
On the tires.
What do you...
Gonna hit enter.
He's hitting it. Oh, he's gonna do inflation. What's our inflation?
So what's the inflation, Tom?
148 million now. So it's a hit.
On a $13 million budget, which
13 now is about 35, 40.
So on a $35 million budget, it would be
big
now,
hit. 180 some.
Damn. So they made. That's why they're like, can we do 8 sequels, please?
Right, and a TV show. And
they did a TV show?
Yeah, and comic books. And
they did do a RoboCop TV show.
Yes, they did. And they did a RoboCop reboot with Joel Kinnaman in 2014.
I know, I saw that one.
And they did
Sexy
it
RoboCop.
PG-13.
Oh, that was dumb. When I watched that movie...
You have the grossest R-rated movie ever, and then you follow it up with this pedantic crap.
Yeah.
Pedantic. I love that word.
Pedantic.
It's a good word.
Wow.
Okay, let's check on the Rotten Tomatoes. Let's check on this. Okay, before we do the critics and before we do the audience, what do you give this movie on the 100 scale?
I would give it like I would get it 88%.
88, Tom?
90-ish.
90.
I fucking loved it.
What keeps you from a 10? What keeps you from 100? Just because I know you're a little tougher of a grader than Tom and I, but I was kind of expecting you to go more in the 70s.
No, I think it was great. I probably wouldn't put it in the 90s or closer just because I don't know.
Okay, I don't have an answer. I texted Sean earlier. It was actually it was funny, not in in the sense of this is so dumb it's funny. It was actually comedic to me. They had a lot of people that were like, this is fucking great. I think that might be what I do appreciate that. Like watching Starship Troopers is great, but if you were asked me to rate it, you know what I'm going to rate it. But if you ask me to watch Starship Troopers, I'm going to be like, great, oh my god, fun. But yes, it is kind of corny in that way. Watching it again, I remember a few years ago when I watched it again, I was like, ooh, powerful movie. A lot. And I think you have to be an adult, and especially in the climate of how politics in the country is today, lot of parallels. You're a lot of parallels of the private sector going into
Blackwater.
Blackwater.
It's like Blackwater owns Amazon kind of thing. Amazon is Blackwater.
Amazon's Blackwater,
Darkwater, Blamazon.
So what keeps it from a 10 for you, or what's the 10% for you where you think?
I think it's the age. So it could have been 100 if I was
It was the sound that the TI-85 or whatever that machine.
I think it was the
chicken sounds when it's rolling around.
Obviously, it was like a pig.
Yeah. When it goes down the ground, it's like.
Yeah. They wanted that effect in there.
Yeah.
When I was watching this, so I was on the laptop watching it, and I didn't like. I was enthralled, like watching it. Like, fuck, this is a good movie, and that's kept like
stop motion on the thing. It was like,
but it was like a really good like. Yeah, I just when I like laugh and get like sucked in, I'm like, this is great, and I'm like, there's nothing bad about it. Other
no
than
bones
it's
to
old.
pick.
No, I mean some
You've
bones.
turned a corner.
Yeah,
Tom.
also there's a bone to pick. Shotguns. People fucking don't. So shotguns only their blast radius is tiny, right? So you don't use those. Like you can't go distance on a shotgun.
We needed you on the set of Rust.
We needed you on the set of all of these movies. Great bit. Great bit. Great bit. That's for the diehards. That's for the diehards.
But you can't.
But shotguns don't
Is he really going to do a shotgun blast?
Shotguns don't do what?
Yeah, so when I was growing
Bone
up.
to pick?
Of
all the movies, this is when he does the shotgun stuff?
No,
of all the
guys,
movies.
Shotguns don't do what? Keep going.
Directors, anyone director listening, shotguns don't go that far.
Okay.
So like use them. It's a small blast radius. You can't go long distance. So people holding shotguns doesn't go too far. So
such a funny bone to pick.
For the rest of people, use other kinds of guns because shotguns don't go that far.
I'm gonna give it an 84.
Fuck yeah.
Anywho, yeah, thank you.
I think I'm gonna give it an 84.
Yeah, I'm dropping my rating down to a 40s because shotguns.
Shotgun.
Yeah,
Johnson.
Yeah, I just think the toxic
Wait, which
Avenger...
scene are you referring to with where the shotguns
when
go
they
far?
they come into the like the bank, like the beginning scene where he blasts everyone in the legs.
Yes.
So they all pull out shotguns, and those don't blast enough. So they're like shooting, and nothing's happening because that's not how shotguns work. They just do like a tiny, that initial scene where he's chasing.
I can't believe you asked a follow-up question.
I know. I'm sorry. That's where Tom paused the movie and went for a walk and vaped.
If you would have so in my opinion,
you got him going again.
And in my opinion,
I can't believe this is still
if
being
you
talked
did that
about.
shotgun blast, right? What it would do is like it's pellets, right? So you have a shotgun, it just blasts pellets.
Okay.
It would just. Ting, 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 ting. That's all I do is like ting, ting, ting. Everyone thinks like boom. I'm like, no, you can't get that far. That's why you hunt ducks with it because you can just blast them.
Yeah, this is why we have you on the show, Tom. Your neurodiversity gives us a lot more viewership.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Shotgun Shells.
Brought to you by Shotgun Shells. Okay, so what do you think Roger Ebert and the critics gave this?
I love how you cover your phone like
because you look, you try to cheat.
I look.
You try to cheat.
In the history of this podcast, I've never leaned over the table to look at your phone.
Right, your hands do it.
But you cover it.
What do you think the
critics? My hands do it.
What do you think the critics gave it?
I'm gonna creep on over.
Critics liked it.
Critics liked it. What do I think the critics gave it?
Yep.
I'm not gonna peek at your phone, dude. It's okay. Jesus. What do you have? A full house? Jesus.
You just looked.
Don't look.
You literally just looked.
Don't even look.
And that quick of a look, I picked it.
I mean,
Stop.
honestly,
I would say the critics gave it a. Critics probably gave it in the 70s.
Okay. What about you?
82.
Critics 92.
Wow.
Yeah, they loved it.
Oh my god.
The themes.
They're smarter than us guys.
Filmmaking.
They were smarter. They saw like
what
all the themes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. It's powerful.
The correlation.
Well, maybe if they learn about shotgun blast.
There's so many. I'm sure there's so many like women watching this right now. Like these douches are trying to give this movie meaning, and it's just this glorious.
No, that's not true at all. It's got a ton of meaning. What do you think the audience gave it?
I know my wife's probably gonna watch it and be like, "Really? Is this what you pulled out of it?" Yeah. What do I think the critics gave it?
Audience
gave it. So the critics gave it how much?
Critics gave it 92.
92. Mm-hmm. Audience gave it 80s.
Okay, what do you got?
Shit, if they gave it 90, the critics gave it 92. I'd say 98.
84. Critics gave it 84. That's what I gave it. 84. I'm just not as big on sci-fi. Like,
is this sci-fi?
Well, yeah, science fiction, I would say. Like the fact of creating robot cop is pretty science fiction. Some science. Like it's just not my like. If I'm gonna go science fiction, I like Predator more. But this was still awesome. Great action, incredible ending and beginning. I felt like the middle just a little long.
Well, Paul Verhoeven nails this one, and then he goes on to do Total Recall.
Yep.
Nails
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Showgirls, Basic Instinct.
Starship Troopers and
So
Showgirls.
By the way.
It's just about like a dancer in Vegas. I don't think we need to get into that.
So we never
we should cover it after we do Anaconda.
The first robot that comes in with the initial like idea he had, that was the worst fucking CGI I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, that was really bad.
No, it was the same guy who did the ants or whatever for Star Wars.
Yeah,
walking things.
Yeah.
So they actually when they did that, they had a guy to make it look a little cleaner, but they wanted it to look a little stop motion cheesy to show how robotic and stiff. So they were mixing like the look of like a Huey chopper from like Vietnam War, and was the other thing. I think one of like the Star Wars things or whatever. So they're trying to show like antiquated stuff. So it was this machine, this antiquated, and then they go to RoboCop, which is more humanic.
Yeah, I think
humanish.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here on a hot take. We're running low on time here.
But they do. Hey, quick fun fact. In one of the scenes, I forget where the guy's in a comic book store, he strolls past a Iron Man comic, which is they flash an Iron Man comic, which is what they pulled to make the suit, and I think it's like two different Marvel characters that they pulled to make the suit. They got inspiration for the RoboCop suit.
It's sexy.
It is.
Yeah, his
for that
chin,
time it's good.
His chin and his blue eyes.
Is all chin.
We always like to end the show with a hot take. Just kind of something that you thought might elevate it. And always make sure you email the show, thebuddycoppodcast@gmail.com. Rate, review, subscribe, leave a comment. If you're watching right now, take your phone out. You're probably on it. You're probably watching on your phone. Just give us a little smashy smash on that subscribe. I'll go first before we get out of here.
Yeah.
My hot take would be, I know this is kind of my hot take every time, but give me more Kurtwood Smith. I would have loved in the middle portion of the movie when we get a lot of the humanity, one more scene of Kurtwood Smith being a nasty fuck. Because he stole every scene he was in. Even when he was groveling and giving up Jones in a heartbeat at the steel mill drug factory with the truckers. He's like, it's Jones, I work for OCP, I'm not the guy. Like, it was so good.
He's such a good villain.
Such a good villain.
And the fact that he put the glasses on, because he wanted to, because he was portrayed, him and Ronnie Cox were always nice guys before that. And they casted them, the nice guys, to be the villains, and it works so good. But the fact that he put the glasses on because he wanted to portray a villain that could not be outsmarted. He was really smart, and he was so dark and so good in it.
So good.
And he portrayed he wanted to look like what was it, Heinrich Himmler?
Yeah. Ugh. What about you? Hot take? Hot take to close out RoboCop. And it's on HBO Max if you need to check it out.
Hot take. I think that this movie is one of the most accurate movies of the 80s to portray the future.
Yeah, that's a great call. Yeah. Like, it's very, very,
they nailed
very
it, because if they said 2030 and we're in 2025 right now and we are
pretty close
to that, the cop cars were pretty there. Like, all the things were basically cops being and police being militarized.
Yes.
And private companies coming in and buying out cops and giving them military contracts were pretty.
And like the news with the type of commercials.
And we thought products. It was ridiculous back then, but we're pretty close. So I think they nailed it. Usually they make it ultra cheesy. They didn't make it super futuristic. They just added little elements.
Yeah, it was perfect. What about you, Bubba?
Not a hot take necessarily. I wish they would have rebuilt RoboCop back to a human form, and he could relive his
and make him human cop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
That's at the end of the movie, or when
they
the movie.
They just in most movies they can get memories or so.
Sure.
He's slowly
sure.
So I want them to bring
Murph,
him.
we found your body actually. It was in the dumpster.
Yeah. So fuck.
We'll put it back.
I'm still thinking about this. I'm thinking too much, but when they were resuscitating him, they had his entire chest split open, and they were resuscitating his actual heart inside of his chest.
Oh, I'm getting flashbacks.
But they could, I'm like, that would be fun if they did a nice.
Give him the Yamaha Heart 2000. Why didn't they just do that? Back. Yeah.
And then he could be nice cop.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. That's not a hot take, but
I like that. I like that. That's kind of fun. That's a really hot take.
Yeah, give him a little nip, a little tuck, pull the skin a little tighter on the metal, and just make a smile.
And he'll just be walking around.
He's drop it.
I'm a human. I have memory.
Man.
I'm a human.
All right, when you get home tonight, homework, Google Nancy Allen haircuts. I think that was kind of the mission statement of the show. RoboCop. I think maybe Aliens up next. A Point Break. A Demolition Man.
Aliens would be
We
good.
got a lot. So leave it in the comments.
I'm still still waiting for all these like dudes who are in the comments like talking a bunch of trash. Tell us what movie we should do. And tell us your hot take.
Give us those.
Three Ninjas would be so dope.
I don't know.
Three Ninjas.
Frankly, okay, that is the Buddy Cop Podcast. Find us on Instagram at the Buddy Cop Podcast. Find us on TikTok at the Buddy Cop Podcast. At the Buddy Cop Podcast at gmail.com. Comment on our YouTube. Please go over to the YouTube. You're watching. You're loving. Smash that subscribe button for Scott, for Tom. This has been
Find our government website, thebuddycoppodcast.gov.
Yep.
You can also file your taxes.
Dead or alive, creep.
What?
Come here, dead or alive. You're
dead or
coming
alive.
with me.
Yeah. And I think we will roll credits.